We ended the first section by looking at this framework that we can look at to kind of diagnose some motivation problems and hopefully look at some strategies for improvement. The first part that we're going to look at here is the fact that a goal has value. Now, what does this mean? In this case, students are asking, is it worth it? Is this goal worth my time, my energy, my resources? Let's break this down a little bit. A goal can have a subjective value. A subjective value is a goal's importance to me. I'm going to pursue the goal with the highest value to me. And goals are going to have value to me because of any of the following. First, think about attainment value. That's the satisfaction I feel from attaining mastery and accomplishment. Secondly, there might be some intrinsic value. That's the satisfaction I feel from doing the task rather than the outcome from the task. There might be some utility or instrumental value, and this means that the goal, this current goal, is going to help me accomplish some other goals, perhaps praise, prestige, money, a good grade. This is also called an extrinsic value. And finally, the cost value. Here I'm going to ask myself, what is this going to cost me in time, money, perhaps anxiety, a loss of self-worth, or any other negative psychological experience? Now think about your students, and you have to realize that value comes from many sources, and often all at the same time. They're not dichotomous, and actually these different values might actually reinforce each other. There are key questions that students raise as part of assessing a course, and these are questions for us as well. They might ask, am I enjoying reading these assignments? Does the main assessment mode I've selected align with the course goals in meaningful, important ways? What might be an alternative assignment, one that could engage students in doing the work of the aims so that they experience a more authentic, engaging process in completing the assignment? Now, we're going to go through some concrete strategies that you can hopefully use to address goals and value in learning. The strategies are going to be presented in 3 sections. First, we'll consider what you can do during planning for learning. Secondly, what you can do in learning activities. And third, what you can do when you're actually in the learning assessment phase. So first, to enhance the value as you're planning a learning experience, you can consider a learning syllabus. A learning syllabus might do any of the following things. It's going to address a purpose, how the course fits within a major, links to a core or threshold concept in the field, or is part of a bigger picture purpose. Second, consider, is it written for learners as the main audience? As part of invoking purpose, the course description might incorporate guiding questions. Situate course materials into current public or professional discussions, or debates that students are already wondering about. Third, the narrative thread can build from course descriptions and learning outcomes to short descriptions of course activities where students engage learning and of assessments where students demonstrate their learning. And finally, consider your policies. Are they linked to the course and the learner realities, not voiced in a vague, contractual type of language? Secondly, let's think about how you can enhance the value in your learning activities. Why are students going to value or care about your course content? Think about the fact that the value comes from the relevance and the authenticity. Think about how you can connect with learners' natural interests. Some concrete examples here. Tell your stories. Show your own excitement with the topic via in-person or video or audio stories. Second, let learners choose assignment topics or the format. Perhaps they could create a website or a video or an audio or do a presentation, and let them find ways to do this that naturally appeal to them. Connect to real-world online content that learners can use in your course and after your course is over. These might be professional websites, online resources, current events. Finally, how can you enhance value in your learning assessments? What we're talking about here is making learning visible and viable. Some concrete examples of this might include high-stakes assessments. Make use of multiple measure in 2 ways. You could mix short answer questions before a quiz or an exam. You might offer a series of opportunities to test learning. You could break larger writing or mapping or speaking or even community-based work into smaller segments. 2, don't just use one type of high-stakes assessment. For examples, all tests or all papers or all anything really. Try to vary those and sequence those throughout your course. Also consider feedback. Students who seek feedback, they will use that feedback. As teachers, don't aim to respond to everything, even in a one-to-one responding. Make use of group feedback or peer feedback, and also formative out-of-class work. So now we're going to pause and let you consider your own situation, your own class, or your own learning experience. You can think about any of these questions or just one, or all. Think about a concrete idea that you could use tomorrow in your course. So think about, how might you talk with your students about learning in your syllabus, your course site, or elsewhere? How might you link course homeworks or problems to big picture purpose and real-world content? Third, how might you incorporate learning self-assessments in the learning that you do in your course with your students? We'll pause here.